Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley. A little rainy. At least it helps the drought, right? And listen, as miserable as it is outside, and it's miserable, it's still great because the birds are flying high. Good morning. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, and we are presented by Rite Aid. Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Go to riteaid.com for the store nearest you. So today, as we look at the Eagles right now and the day after, we always like to kind of sleep on it and look at it with fresh eyes. And so after Sunday night, when I look back on it, you see the same brilliance, right? You see a team that is just legitimate. The thing that you could talk about when it comes to the Eagles is, I think the word comes to mind, is legitimacy, right? Like they are a legitimate contender. And I think if you go through some of the teams, and I think at this point, the end of November, you know who's good and who's not, right? Like you know who's a legit contender and who's not a legit contender, right? And it goes back to Detroit and the Eagles. And, you could put Green Bay as a maybe. I still got to get convinced about Minnesota. I don't believe in Sam Darnold. Like, I close my eyes, and I always do this test, and I go, I see the way he's playing, and he's playing better, but he's still not playing great quarterback, right? Like, I still look at him, and I go, I like Aaron Jones, and I like Jefferson. And I close my eyes. Can I see the Vikings and Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl? And the answer is no. I truthfully only see the Lions and the Eagles as contenders in the NFC. I don't think Washington's ready yet. I don't think I look at the Packers, and I don't believe in their defense. I think their offense is legitimate. Jacobs really helps them, I like Love. But I don't believe in their defense. I think the Eagles' defense is better. And that's been the key to all of it, is the Eagles' defense. Like, we knew their offense. We said it many times before the season that this offense, and that's without knowing how great Barkley would be and how great the offensive line would be. But the defense has really come together. And I think that's what is the key point as to why they're a contender. It's all because of that defense. I mean, that defense was causing havoc. It played really. Fangio was sensational. I went back and watched it, and Fangio, the stuff that he was doing was just second-level stuff. So, who put this thing together? Howie did. That's who. Today, I really wanted to look at the job that Howie Roseman has done. It's excellent. I mean, it's just a ridiculous, excellent job when you look at how he's put together this roster. And the thing that excites me about it, and the thing why I gush at it, is they're really young, too. They're young in some good places. They're in their prime. I mean, when you look at their roster and you got like some of the older players, I mean, Lane is probably the one that you would worry about the most when it comes to the older players and the guys that are going to be regulars. But like on defense, their three best players on defense are all young. Jalen Carter and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. They're all young. I mean, look at the drafts, and I want to send this to the fellas. These are Howie's picks, right? It started in 2020 and the Hurts pick, right? He winds up becoming the starter, as we know. 21 is really I want to begin. Devontae, Landon Dickerson, home run. Milton Williams is good, right? Jordan Davis at 22. Obviously, he's been a bust. That would be the one mistake. But Cam Jurgens, home run. N'Kobe Dean looks good. Jalen Carter, home run. Nolan Smith starting to come around. Sidney Brown, I like. And at some point, I think you're going to see him. Kaylee Ringo in the fourth round, I think is going to be good. Mitchell DeJean, home run. And I like Jalix Hunt. I think Jalix Hunt has a potential. I mean, that's a really good draft record when I look at it, right? And that doesn't take into account, the A.J. Brown, which he turned one of the picks into A.J. Brown, which was a home run. And then you look at free agency, and sure, you got Huff and Devin White, but, Barkley, Zach Bond, he stashed Isaiah Rodgers. That was a big deal. CJ, how about, he's playing physical? That wound up bringing him back was good. I mean, I look at this roster management, and I got to tell you, I go, Howie Potter. He's a wizard. I can't wait to see what my boy has to say, but Howie Potter is the wizard GM. It's why. You got it? There he is. Here he is, VG. There he is. Good morning, JP, VG. What do you say, my fellas?
You're a wizard, Howie.
You're a wizard.
This is how we do it. Right? That's what we saying around here these days.
Oh, man.
I mean, look at the roster and look at the production. And I really defy you to find, he's hit the stride that is unparalleled in Philadelphia.
Thank
The
God.
Eagles history.
Thank God for Julian Lurie. Thank God. Head of football strategy operations, leading Howie down the path to success. Julian.
Come on. You can't give me Jules. Listen, Jules is good. You got to give Howie. It's time now.
Howie's on the heater. No doubt. He's on the heater.
You and I have been going, listen, I've known Howie since he got here, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2002, I remember when he was just got a job in the front office and he was bouncing around with Joe Banner and Andy and Tom Heckert. And I was real close with Heckert, and who passed away, and good man. And Howie, we were all young back in the day. At some point, we were actually young. And we were all young, me and Howie and Heckert. And Howie lived around the corner. We lived in the neighborhood.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lived around the corner. One day, I was taking Anthony to Halloween. Oh, my God. This had to be 2009 or 10. No, he was a baby, so he was born in 09. So it was probably 10, 11. And I'm walking him through the Halloween playground. The playground on 10th and Lombard?
Yes.
And they had a big Halloween thing. And I hear, yo, cuz. I look up, and it was Howie.
Oh, my God.
And he goes, yeah, because he lived around the corner, too. So it was it was cool, man. He grew up in this organization, and I've seen him kind of go through it. I sat with him when after Chip Kelly banished him to the other part of the building, and I'm so happy for him. I mean, He works hard. He really wants it, and I think he's done a great job.
Ever since he came out of the closet at 2.0 Howie, he's been much better. The chip stunk for him, but maybe the chip thing was he needed it at the time. And he's been much better since then.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had that one draft that was bad in 13. I guess it was. I don't know.
Why am I
was the
Marcus Smith.
What's that?
Was it the Marcus Smith draft?
Yes.
2014, that one is.
Yes, that was that was the bad
Johnson.
Right, that was the bad draft.
Yeah.
Jordan Matthews, the other Huff. There's no players on that draft.
And so
the next one wasn't good either. 15.
But that was a Chip draft. Chip, remember he was drafting little Pac-12 guys?
Yeah.
Remember we went through that? He was all he did was draft Pac-12 guys.
There's only one Pac-12 guy in this list. Nelson Aguilar. Eric Rowe.
Go
Yeah,
back.
say Eric
Huff
Rowe.
was Oregon.
Yes.
Oh, Josh.
Lane was-
Oregon. Taylor Hart was Oregon. Ed Reynolds, Stanford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pac-12.
Yeah.
It was all about. I never forget. We were like, dude, we're drafting guys from the Pac-12, the softest conference around. Give me SEC.
All right, well, let's
We were
look
pleading
at
for
it. I mean,
years.
16, the trajectory of Howie, let's look at it. He struggled at 16.
What was 16?
Carson did not, that's not
Listen, I
he
don't.
did not have the mental makeup, and he should have knew it. He
No,
sat down,
I
he
disagree.
interviewed.
I disagree.
Isaac Sayamalu, second and third
Okay,
round.
I can't. Like, time out.
You know.
You can't give Howie a black mark for Wentz because Wentz, that's impossible to hold up a GM on going. Yeah, I know we're going to win the Super Bowl. By the way, which he did win the Super Bowl, and then he's going to go off the rails.
They wouldn't have won the Super Bowl with Carson, but I mean,
They wouldn't have won. Like in that year, if he doesn't get hurt, they don't win the Super Bowl.
So tough.
They wouldn't
No,
have gotten there without him.
What are you talking about? I don't know how you can say that.
because he's mentally soft, man. He's too weak. He's at North Dakota State.
He
He
threw
can't
a
handle NFL
touchdown on a
playoffs.
torn ACL.
He would
regular
here's
season,
the thing. He would
bro.
have beaten the Falcons. He would have beaten the Vikings. But would he have beaten Tom Brady and the Patriots?
I don't know, but who knows? To say he wasn't going to win it is ridiculous because it's an argument of that you can't have.
I mean, 2016 is not terrible. I mean, Sayamalu, Big V, and Jalen Mills, who are all contributors to that Super Bowl.
By the way, Jalen Mills and Sayamalu still almost still playing.
Big V got a nice contract from Detroit too.
Yeah, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Wait, that's a
Come
bad
on.
draft. It's a bad draft.
It's not a bad draft. How could you say? First of all, you can't hold Wentz against him. You can't. That's not fair.
Whose fault is it then?
It's his fault.
Whose?
It's Wentz's fault.
Nah, they put him through all this emotional
Come
and psychologist.
on.
You don't know the guy's soft.
Oh,
He's weak.
stop.
It's better.
Oh
Than,
my God! It's extraordinary circumstances. I love how you're holding the GM accountable for Wentz going sideways because the GM won the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl.
He was smart. He had Nick Foles hanging around. Yeah.
Okay, well that
Valued
was
the
also
backup
him.
quarterback.
I'm giving him props for that. I'm saying
That
Carson
really
Wentz.
built the whole
Yeah.
team. Oh my God!
Now,
What else?
Go on. Let's go. 2017.
that was
Derek
a
Barnett.
bad one.
Sidney Jones. Rasul became a better player when he
Yes.
left. Mac Hollins, barefoot, walking around, riding his bike.
Oh, don't say the next one.
Pumphrey.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's not good.
17's a bad one. 18's
18 was
okay.
fine.
Dallas Goddard, Devontae Maddox, Josh Sweat.
Yeah, actually, very good.
Oh, and Mailata. That's the steal. But that's
I mean-
that's not a Howie pick. That's a Stoutland pick.
Dude, first of all, you can't now go, no, that's not your pick. That's his pick. No.
Get
It's
outta
an
here.
organization.
That's a Stoutland pick.
It's an
read
Listen,
volumes
he-
over
no.
just Stoutland, how he came to get Mailata in the building.
Believe me, I love Stoutland. So this is, of course, but part of being a GM is you listen to your people and you go, all right, I love taking a shot with this kid who's never played.
We got to give credit to Howie to listen to Jeff Stoutland, the greatest position coach to ever
Okay,
coach in the NFL.
I'm just saying it's not a black mark. Like you want to go
No, I'm
black
just
mark.
saying.
Like you
It's
know
not a
what?
black
You
mark.
strip away the credit. Like you got to give some credit. Like it's still his draft.
Let's go 19. Andre Dillard, Miles
was terrible,
Sanders,
dude.
Man.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Sure, they're all busts.
Bust a bad horrible.
That's a
draft.
bad draft.
That's a bad. That's the worst draft of them all.
And here's a moment that changes Howie. 2020, Jalen Reagor. When he is publicly mocked,
Yeah,
that's changed the Howie's focus. And
The
he's
Vikings
been
laughing.
fantastic ever since
I
that
agree.
moment.
Listen, and what's funny? That's when they went really squarely into the SEC and went after some big picks. Listen, the Rager pick. I mean, I of course we all agree. Jefferson was sitting there, and there was talk about. And I still don't understand it, but there was talk about how he was only a slot guy, which is still amazing. How
Yeah.
but that wasn't just Howie. That was that. I heard it from many people.
now it's not just Howie.
No, I'm talking about the slot thing. No, it's Howie's fault for not drafting him. You can't. I hated Rager.
I mean, this whole pick. I mean, they got Hurts in the second.
So I didn't like Rager. I mean, I said at the time, like I hated it. I hated going with an outside guy. He was trying to. and I know what he was doing.
We needed speed at
He
that
was
point.
trying to go with Deshaun Jackson. He thought Reagor could be Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, that's what it was.
That's really tough.
Well, no, I mean, like, yeah, that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Then he's got Hurts. But then the rest of that draft, Davion Taylor, Kayvon Wallace, Driscoll, Hightower, Sean Bradley, Quez Watkins, Prince Tega, Wanagoho, Casey Tuhill. Then he gets laughed, and then he gets serious. Julian comes in. It's like, let me help you out.
I mean,
Let's go.
What he's done, and by the way, like we talk about the inexact science of drafting. I mean, look, he's done. My only point is, look at the roster setup. My man won a Super Bowl, right? Has them as a perennial contender.
Yes.
And look, they're back. Like they're 10. They started 10-1, right? And the fall off the earth last year after going to the Super Bowl again in 22. And you look at them now and you go, they ain't going anywhere. Look at where the Cowboys are set up. Look at where the Giants are set up.
to a lunatic.
Well, no.
Senile lunatic.
So
God, they're your division rivals. The Cowboys and the Giants.
Yeah, but that can't be
How about some gratitude, BJ?
I have tons of gratitude, but comparing him that he's better than Jerry
No,
Jones.
the point is, look at how they're set up, and now look at the Eagles and how the Eagles are set up for the future.
Yes.
The Eagles are set up over the next 3 to 5 years. Look at where they're young in spots, big spots. Oh, who are the guys that are aging out? Lane.
Yep.
I mean, at some point, like AJ's in the prime. Saquon's got a year or two, a couple years left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no, I'm giving him his props. The last couple of
Devontae's
years,
still young.
I said he's on the heater.
AJ's young. AJ's still young. They're set up
They are
defensively.
I think.
I mean, that excites me. Here's the thing: the fact that I can look and go, you know what? Over the next 5 years, I can feel good about the Eagles. Like,
absolutely,
they're going to be in the mix over the next 5 years.
They're set up.
I look around, right? This Sixer thing is today's a 4 for 4 day. We're going to go through all the teams. But this Sixer thing is a disaster.
Oh man,
Like, it's a disaster. I mean, and who knows whatever comes of Embiid's knee, and like we're at the point now where math starts to come into play. Like I have no doubt at some point they're going to look good, but that stretch that they play, how long will it last?
Calamity.
Like 2 weeks? You're saying calamity.
It's all from the top down. Jeffrey Lurie and his sons, they run a nice ship over there. The Sixers are rudderless. They got nothing over there. Just profits and numbers. It's all they care about over there.
Can Laurie buy the Sixers?
Then you got, all right, think about it. Then you got the Phils, and listen, they're not going anywhere. Middleton's is going to keep spending. The only problem is they're aging out quickly.
Middleton's like, he's the anti-Jerry Jones, where he's crazy about spending money, but actually hires someone competent to do it. But he's going to spend crazy money. If they're going to be over the second threshold or whatever it is again.
My only worry with the Phillies is you're going to age at some point fairly soon. You're going to age out.
You got a good 3 years.
Yeah.
You feel good about the Birds for 3-4 years. You feel good about the Phils for 3-4 years.
I do, but I'm saying, look,
give me a warning of caution with the Phils. I feel like.
I feel better about the Eagles' future.
Well, let's face it, right? Like Schwarber, like look at the 8. Like,
you'll be happy when Schwarber's gone. You get a real leadoff hitter. You're gonna be so happy in a year.
I like Schwarber. I don't want. I like Schwarber. I never liked Schwarber leading off, but whatever. I'm a Schwarber. I mean, what's not to love about Schwarber? And he's in
power.
He is in a. I don't want to see
commercials.
him. And I don't want to see him
commercials.
Nah, but I don't want to see him. I like Schwarber. He means a lot to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I do. I don't want to see him go anywhere. I wanted Turner to act like a freaking leadoff hitter and be patient because he's got some pop.
Yeah.
And he should be the leadoff hitter.
I think we all thought he was going to be the leadoff hitter. I don't know why he's not there.
Horrendous since he got here.
He could lead off.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's not been horrendous. Last year was
from
decent,
what
but
I expected,
he has struggled.
I'm sorry. From what I expected from Turner, I expected a top 5, top 10 player in baseball.
Yeah, why would he? He's a perennial 300 hitter with some pop.
Who can fly?
Flies.
Who can fly? Like, I was expecting a true, legit all-star, and he hasn't been.
No.
So, from that, to me, that's a disaster. For the contract that you spent, that's a calamity.
I agree with you, cuz.
I need Turner this year.
Oh, man. Turner's a calamity?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, you were.
I have faith. You're going to turn it around.
Well, I hope so. He better. Like,
He's still young enough.
He should.
Yeah.
This has to be a big year for him.
JT's getting old.
JT,
Yes.
I got to tell you, I wouldn't be upset if they moved on from him this year. If they had someone in the pipeline, JT's a little.
JT, why are you in a hurry about that?
I don't love JT. I mean, he's fine, but he's getting beat up. There's no place for him at first base. There's no place for him at DH.
Dude.
If you can get something for him, he's expensive.
He's a great catcher. He just is a great catcher. I'm not looking forward to life without JT.
The wear and tear doesn't concern you, cuz?
Yes, it does. Do I think he's on the downside? Yes, I do.
The bat's been cooling off.
Yes, I see that too.
I'm speaking for the masses here, apparently. Everyone's on my side.
What do you mean?
All these worries about JT.
I'm not saying, but again, you want to move on from him now. My only point is he's a great defensive catcher.
He is.
So what? So why in a hurry to move on? Like, I get it. He's atrophy. He's older. The spells last year, he was hurt a lot. He came up small in the playoffs. I get it. But he's a great defensive catcher. You can't steal on him, and the stolen bases come back. Guys, there's guys that you don't like that just
I don't.
like why? What's the problem with JT Realmuto? What about Realmuto?
I'll take Travis d'Arnaud at half the price. Give me a little pop.
No, I'll get bullet. Travis d'Arnaud stinks. Get out of here, Travis
That's why he's
d'Arnaud.
half the price.
Stinks. Travis d'Arnaud. Get the hell out of here. All right. We got lots to do today. Lots of guests, lots of fun. How about the Flyers last night?
Yeah. Was that a fun game to watch?
Dude, oh my God. Michkov is ridiculous. He had a move last night. What? He hit the post in the shootout. Did you see that shot?
Yes.
That thing was a howitzer.
Still feeling it.
He had a couple. I will say this too. Morgan Frost. Did you see the move he made in overtime?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! It was unbelievable. I still don't know how they didn't score that power play.
They were killing him on that missed shot from that Michkov pass, the wide open net. They were killing him on social media. But that was the most confident I've seen Morgan Frost this year.
That move he made, where he turns around, stops.
A couple nice moves in the last
That was awesome. In overtime.
Samheim had a shot, got robbed with the glove.
Samheim was insane.
Dude, Samheim's playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
But it's like every involving Michkov, it feels like.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the greatest.
Let me ask you this.
This kid is a baby. He's 18 years old. Are you 19 years old?
19.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. At this age, to be this good, he's sick.
Let me ask you this. Can the Philadelphia City get a defensive rookie of the year in an NFL, an NHL rookie of the year, and an NBA rookie of the year this year?
Wow.
Dude, it's got me juiced thinking about this, man. I've been thinking about
could
this all
happen.
week, man.
Wow, that's awesome.
And maybe Andrew Painter comes up, maybe a 4 rookie of the year.
Dude, what are you trying to do to us, VJ?
Wow, that's cool.
Right? We got some young talent here.
The youth.
Yeah. Yeah.
The youth.
You know what? That's interesting.
It's a possibility.
It is a
Well,
possibility.
Mitchell deserves it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So Michkov
Offensively.
deserves it.
Mitchkov, without a doubt. Forget that Celebrini.
Yeah.
Sticking
So it's
bastard.
did have a nice
it's going to
goal
come
last
down
night,
to your
cuz.
boy,
I know.
your boy McCain, and your boy Connect, and it'll come down to those two probably for NBA rookie.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like McCain,
Oh, that'd be crazy.
McCain and Connector are the only 2 that are playing like this.
Yeah.
If it comes down to those two, it'd be super entertaining going down the
Yeah.
wire.
No, that's awesome. I didn't think about that. That's good. All right, we got lots to get to because we're going to do coming up our man Mike Seiski. We do our Inquirer every Tuesday. We hear the voices from the Yankee, and looking forward to this. Mike, what's the matter?
Cash for the Ghost in the chat says, I don't like JT anymore. Yeah, that's it. Let's rally up.
It's getting to that point.
Let's not hate on
K-Rain, our
JT.
top 2 catchers are super injury prone. Yeah, let's go. We got to upgrade that position.
He's
we
the
got
best
Stubbies,
defensive
right?
catcher in baseball.
Offense wins baseball. Offense wins.
Need the bat. Need the bat.
Dude, you can't spell baseball, dude.
Can't
All
even
right.
spell baseball.
All right, you guys kill me. You guys kill me. It's so important to have a catcher
The
that's
Marchand
good.
kid's got a good glove.
Yeah, we can't stay healthy.
Marchand.
I love Marchand, but man can't stay healthy.
What we got? The 18-year-old in the system?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
good. Marchand's not legitimate.
Bring the kid up.
He's not a legitimate prospect. All right. You're killing me today. Don't talk baseball.
James
All right.
Bond Flyers wants us to trade for Ohapi.
Yeah, get it. Oh, Hoppy and Trout. Oh, God. Take it away. We're going to talk to Mike. Take it away.
All right, guys. Let's real quick talk about our friends over at Ace Hardware Home Services. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know the jingle. We talk about it every day. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. And look, full disclosure of myself at home, I got a little project in my mind. I've been driving my wife up a wall. We don't want to go out anymore. All right, full disclosure, we do not want to go out anymore. So we had this idea. One of the rooms that we have, we really don't use. So why don't we just turn it into like a little mini nightclub? Right? That sounds like fun, right? At-home fun. So we're going to go to Ace Hardware to find everything we need for this little room. Yeah, because we're not trying to go out anymore. You see these prices are going up? You got to pay covers, these drinks. It's absolutely insane.
Devontae Adams has a Taco Bell in his house, and you're going to have a Club JP?
La discoteca. So Ace Hardware is the place we're gonna get everything: the lights, the painting on the wall, all the
You're going to
decor.
get velvet couches?
Yeah, we're having it all because we're gonna go all in on this idea.
Black curtains?
And it's gonna be sponsored by Ace Hardware. Exactly.
Disco
See, Cuz
ball.
getting it now. Yeah, there you go.
Well, you got to have disco balls,
Yeah.
discotheque.
A discoteca. So if you have a crazy project like mine, you want to go to Ace Hardware, and it's very simple. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services at www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get your next project started today. Or, like we say, it's our neighborhood hardware store. I'm sure they're in your neighborhood as well. You can visit them as well. But for your next project, consider our friends over at Ace Hardware.
And don't forget about your friends over at Rite Aid. Hey, it's that time of year. We spend more time indoors. So viruses and things like that are circulating. Protect yourself and your family by staying up to date on all your immunizations. Most Rite Aid pharmacists are trained certified immunizers, and most vaccines are no cost with your health insurance or Medicare Part D and government plans such as that. Rite Aid pharmacists, they can vaccinate you for pneumonia, tetanus, whooping cough, chickenpox. RSV is out there and flying around. It's a respiratory tract. They got a vaccine for that. COVID-19 rates are going up and up, so Rite Aid can help you out with that. And if you have had chickenpox, you might want to pay attention because you can get a shingles vaccine, and shingles is a painful rash caused by the same viruses that causes chickenpox. So if you've had the pox, you can get the shingles. Select Rite Aid stores have dedicated pharmacists ready to administer vaccines and answer all your questions.
I got him talking. He's having his own nightclub.
Hey, man, if you got questions on what immunizations you need, or you're not sure if you're up to date, feeling nervous, just ask a Rite Aid pharmacist. They'll take the time to make a personalized recommendation for you. No questions are too small. Just walk in or schedule an appointment Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. State, age, and health restrictions may apply. Ask a Rite Aid pharmacist for more details.
That's why those guys feeling wacky, cuz.
Every time you read that, I get terrified because I had the chicken pox twice, and I'm like,
Dude,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
get hit
It's my
hard.
cousin, man. Cousin Joey got the shingles.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, it's no
Rite
good.
Aid. Rite Aid, Fraser.
Yeah.
Hey, JP, there used to be a club called Brazil's.
I used to go there with my wife when we first
Do you
started
remember?
dating.
It was still, but like it went through a bunch of different iterations. It was on,
Chestnut and stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
on Chestnut Street between Front and Second. I took Sammy Sosa there
No
way.
did
in
not.
the late '90s.
That is sick, cuz.
That's awesome.
I love that place.
I used to take my
It was
buddies
the
there.
second floor. You used to walk up,
Yup.
and it was the
Exactly.
second floor, and it was popping. And Sammy was in, I don't know, we're playing the Phillies or something, and I was
Still
like,
there?
dude, you should come to this club, and I took Sammy there.
Took my buddies one time from Cherry Hill, and I started to dance because I love salsa. So I started dancing salsa, and they lost me that night.
My man. All right, time now for our buddy from the Inquirer. I love he's got such a great voice. I love his commentary. He is Mike Seiski.
He probably thinks Real Muto's aging up too.
Oh, dude, it's obvious he's aging up. He's still
First
a
of all,
defensive catcher.
Pulsations or go home, number one.
Pulsations?
Oh, my God.
Dude, you guys know who owned Pulsations?
Who?
John Taffer from Bar Rescue. That's his first nightclub.
Are you
Was it
serious?
really?
Pulsations in Glenside
No
with
way.
the robot that would come out.
Oh my
No
God.
way.
Yeah, man.
Second thing is, VG press box rules apply. I am absolutely stealing all the young players coming up in this city and going to turn it into a column. You said it out loud, therefore I can steal it, and I'm going to write.
That's right, VG.
Do it. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's a great observation, and it's absolutely true. And the good part about it is, like, look, everybody's fired up about Saquon. Everybody was fired up when Bryce Harper came here. But the truth is that if you're a sports fan, nothing's better than following young guys who start out with the team you root for and grow. A guy like a Chase Utley, a Ryan Howard, a Jimmy Rollins. And if Mishkoff and Mitchell and McCain can be those kind of guys, they're going to be loved here forever.
Don't forget DeGene.
Exactly.
I love Cooper. And Carter. Dude, the Eagles, Mike. The thing that excites me is why we started the show today. I wanted to start to talk about Howie. I've known Howie since he got here in the early 2000s. Like when he first got here, he was a guy in Florida who wanted to get in the league. And, he started working for Joe Banner and doing some cap stuff. And I've seen his journey. It's a fascinating journey, Mike. And I look at this team. This team is set up. They're only old with Lane is the oldest player right now. When you look at it, that Carter is a flat-out game wrecker. And those two kids have completely changed the tenor of their back end.
Yeah, look, and you're putting your finger on it. This is the key to sustaining success, right? We can get fired up every time Howie makes a big trade or a big signing. He brings in AJ, he brings in Saquon. It's Howie season, all that stuff. The bottom line is that the franchises that win year after year after year, or at least exceed expectations, franchises like the Steelers or the Patriots all those years with Brady and Belichick, they replenish their talent through the draft. You have to be able to do that because of the salary cap. You have to have guys who can play right away and who are inexpensive and don't take up a lot of cap space. And if you hit on your draft picks, you're going to be good for a long time. And they're hitting on their draft picks. You got to give Howie all the credit in the world, especially as you laid out. Like, here's a guy who went from being not only like a bookkeeper and like perceived as a bookkeeper, but turning himself into, the best general manager in the sport, like able to evaluate, able to be a football guy when he didn't start out as a football guy.
Dude, you know what's funny? And I know this about him, right? Like, because that fraternity is tough. Like, I joke about it, right? Because I know all those dudes, right? And they all speak in prepositions, right? This and that, and that's what they are. And they don't respect, and they hate. Like, they hate it's almost Revenge of the Nerds, right? Like, a guy comes walking in, you didn't play. Like, if you didn't play and put on shoulder pads and know how to put them on, like, guys look at you like sideways. And I got to tell you, I give him a ton of credit because he navigated that world. There was a lot of people in that world that I would talk to that would that weren't too kind. I mean, I'll never forget when Jeffrey is talking to Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly was like, "No, I don't want Howie," and Jeffrey said, "He's my Theo Epstein," and I remember at that point, and I remember thinking, "All right, dude, like really, And I loved Howie. Like I know, about Theo Epstein's it's high praise, right?
Yeah, darn right.
And look what happened. He turned out to be Theo Epstein.
Well, and I don't think you can shortchange how much that criticism fuels him and motivates him. I can still remember being in the locker room after Super Bowl 52, after they had won. And every freaking media member, certainly every writer who walked up to Howie and asked for a comment, he was defiant, and he was kind of, there was every little bit of everything he said was cut with this basic feeling of, they told me I couldn't do this and I did it, and basically screw you. And it wasn't the football guys like you mentioned who were coming up to him in that moment. It was guys like me and Jeff McClain and Paul Domowitch and Les Bowen and all the people who had been around the team for a long, long time. And that was his way of kind of expressing, like, you all thought I was a nerd who couldn't do this and would get stepped on. And now look at me. And here he is 8 years later, coming up on what, 6 years later, and they may do it again.
Well, he was already at a Super Bowl, right, in 22. And to your point, it was funny. I was texting with him. I don't think he cares. The other day, after the game, Sunday night. And he was like, and I was just talking about the young defense, because I'm in love with Carter and Mitchell and DeGene. I know
you are. Yeah.
I love, because there's something about defense, and I just think they're so talented, right? And I was like, I told him, I'm like, dude, I don't know how you remade this defense in a year. Yeah, I mean, Fangio was perfect, and you got the personnel. And he's like, listen, he goes like, I want this so bad. Like, I taste it, I feel it. And I believe him. Like, he's dying to win. And I think you're right. I think he's fueled by, you know what? Nobody gave me any kind of chance. Everybody thought I was just a non-football guy. Bleep y'all, right? Like, I do. I think that I think you're spot on.
Yeah, and I think you have to give him a lot of credit for being willing to put in the time and to be open-minded enough to change what his strength was, right? Like, he could balance the books, he could find ways to manipulate the salary cap, to keep players that they wanted to keep and add players who they wanted to add. But it's another level when you are spending all that time sitting at Andy Reid's knee and saying, okay, show me how to do this. I don't know how to do it. I want to learn how to do it. Show me how, you know. And that's a really difficult thing. Like, it's something that we encounter in our professions all the time. Like, I figured, like, I'm going to be a sports columnist for the rest of my life. And, like, that's not the world anymore in our business. You got to do podcasts. You got to do radio. You got to do all this other stuff. And Howie saw that early on in his profession. Like, I can't just be a numbers guy. If I want to reach the absolute heights of this, I've got to diversify my skills, and he put in the time to do it, and all the credit in the world to him for that.
Yeah, I think he always loved that aspect of it.
But you got to know you don't know it real well. You might love it, but that doesn't mean you're good at it.
It's spot on, dude. You're spot on. And I just remember him saying, like, just give me a chance. I just wanted a chance. He wanted it so bad. And Joe Batter's the one who gave the shot. Like, I go back to it. I remember Joe gave him the shot back in the day.
Yeah, and the last thing on this, give both of those guys credit for being forward-thinking at a time and in a town where forward-thinking is not exactly always embraced. Like the idea of, okay, we're going to let certain guys walk away. And, they took a ton of criticism for it at the time, and maybe it did lead to them not winning a Super Bowl when they could have, but man, they were trendsetters in the NFL, and you can see the benefits of it now.
Yeah. And listen, and the guy pulling all the strings was Andy. Like, I'll go to my guy. That dude is the best coach. I mean, Belichick, I'm sure, but that guy, because I remember seeing it firsthand, all the things he did, and on the other side of it, the personnel side too. Like, not just the coaching aspect of it.
No, it's interesting. I don't know if you saw this. There's a great video going around, to your point about, like, the coaching side of it. There's a great video going around of Matt Hasselbeck talking about Andy being the quarterback's coach in Green Bay, and how Mike Holmgren would get all over the quarterbacks if the ball touched the ground once. And so he sent Andy to chew Hasselbeck out over a play in practice where the receiver actually ran the wrong route. And they weren't going to know it until they went back and watched the film or something like that. And Andy, has his back to Holmgren, and he's facing Hasselbeck, and he's gesturing and gesticulating, and it looks like he's yelling at him. And what he's really saying to Hasselbeck is, listen, I know that wasn't your fault. Just, we're going to pretend for the next 30 seconds like I'm chewing you out, and then we'll go back in the film and we'll see that it wasn't your fault. And Hasselbeck said, "I'll take a bullet for that guy any day because he protected me, he stood up for his
awesome. I didn't
guys."
see that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's who Andy was, man. That's fantastic. Hey, all right. So, big picture, what do you see? I mean, clearly it's the Lions, but right now, I mean, I think they're 1B. If the Lions are 1A, I think they're 1B.
Yeah, I agree. And the Lions don't exactly have a cakewalk the rest of the way. I mean, I think the Lions are really good, stacked up and down. Dan Campbell has those guys playing as a kind of a unbroken unit. I mean, they're just amazing. And every Sunday after they play, I'm like looking online for his post-game speeches because I want to run through a wall for that guy. But the Lions still have to play Buffalo. They still have to play Minnesota again. And I think, Detroit is better than Minnesota, but who knows what can happen. And I forget who pointed this out, but the Eagles are so far ahead of everybody else in the NFC East now. And the Lions, at least in theory, could be caught by the Vikings. So it's possible that the Eagles could end up with the 1 or 2 seed. And Detroit's, the number 5 seed. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. But it's at least possible. And I think you're right. Look, if the Eagles have to go in a Ford Field in an NFC Championship game, it's going to be real tough. If the Lions or anybody else has to come to the Link, different story.
I've been saying it. Listen, I don't want to go in the Dome. They're a different team in that Dome. But you put them here, I think the Eagles are the favorite.
Hey,
yeah.
I like Jared Goff more than most people. I'll take my chances with Jared Goff throwing the ball outside in late January in Philadelphia.
I'm with you. All right, couple things real quick. Let's go Meatskoff because last night, again, dude, I don't remember a player like Lindros was dominant, but he didn't have, even he, as great as he was, didn't have the skill that this kid had. Like, I've never seen a flyer ever have this kind of skill. Pure skill.
It's like his stick is a magnet and the puck's on it all the time. The combination of like calm and poise and explosiveness that he has, he's the most fun flyer to watch, I think, since Lindros. Drew was a terrific player, was not fun to watch like this. Every time he's on the ice, and the fact that he's this productive at 19 on this team without anyone else who's at his skill level or really even close to it, tells you what this kid could be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years.
Right? I mean, it gets you excited, man. Oh, my God. I'm watching. Just in the shootout, that shot was, he hits the post. It's a shame. The thing flutters. It almost goes in, but it flutters out. It was so, just how slow he was. And, oh, my God. He's amazing.
Yeah, and he is. And every guy they've had who scored a lot of goals or put up a lot of points was a different player than this kid, right? Yes. Like, you want to go back to the 70s, Reggie Leach was just a sniper, right, for that time.
Big slap shot.
Right. Mark Recchi wasn't quite this creative at his best. Lindros certainly wasn't quite this creative. He's making space for himself because of his size.
Tim Kerr was up on the top of the crease.
Yeah. This kid is different altogether. This is the kind of player who, like, you watch highlights of on the other team and for years and years said, boy, wouldn't it be kind of interesting if the Flyers had a kid like this because they've never had anybody like him.
Just his quote the other night, when you get the moment, you have to be cold-blooded and realize it, finish it.
Right? Oh, I love the kid. The kid's awesome. The kid's awesome.
It's great. It's like Ivan Drago in skates.
Yeah.
Be dicey.
I love it. We got to get a Rocky update. But, hey, so the other thing, what do you see over the next 6 weeks with the Sixers?
Oh my gosh. I don't see much changing. I'll be real honest. And I think all of this talk of, Maxey Embiid and Paul George have only been on the floor for 6 minutes, which obviously is true. Okay. Like, they're not good without one or any of them. They're not competitive without one of those guys or two of those guys. The idea that putting all three of them together, given the condition of Embiid's knee, given the way George has looked so far when he's been out there, I don't think you're salvaging this. I really don't. And I think if they're not careful, they're going to win too many games. I don't want to see, you don't want to say tanking, but they have their first round pick is only protected through the top 6.
Oh,
so
my
if you
God.
really want
We're back. We're back in the process. Calamity for Cooper Flag.
And I wrote this last week. The precedent for this team right now is the 96-97 Spurs, who had been knocking on the door with David Robinson, couldn't get there. The impression at the time of Robinson
I thought that was a great point.
Like he can't do it. He's too soft. Dennis Rodman's calling him soft and all this. They have one bad season. They get lucky. They get the number 1 pick. They get Tim Duncan, and they're a dynasty for the next 20 years. I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Sixers, but I am saying that if you want to salvage what you did by going all in with Embiid and George and Maxey, the only way to do it is to get a top 6 pick in this draft and have him play right away.
You're spot on. I am down for one more process here. I'm completely down with it because you're spot on. I would rest. I would tell Embiid I'd put him somewhere like in another country. All right, and just stay there. I don't want to see you. Don't tweet. Don't Instagram. Just stay there, and you'll be in the Black Forest of Germany, right? In Germany, working on your knee, right?
But that's the thing. That's the thing, Ant. That solves the other problem. If they do that, that solves the other problem of the constant updates, and Joel's insecurity about his health status. Yes. So much of the messaging problem is that Joel doesn't want anybody to perceive him for what he is, which is injury prone. It's not even necessarily his fault, but he's the one who's so sensitive about this. Just tell him, get better. And we're going to put you on a program. You got to listen to us. Here's what we're going to do to fix your knee. Go away for the year and then come back. And you solve the 2 problems, which is when is he coming back and how are we handling the messaging of it?
Dude, and by the way, you assure yourself of getting another player. I'm so on board with it because listen, we came this far. We already went through it. What's one more year? And I read your piece and I was like, he's so smart. It's so on point. The Spurs thing is legit. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly right.
I appreciate that. And last thing I'll say is we spend an awful lot of time in sports and in the NBA in particular about talking about organizations and how teams do things a certain way. So much of this comes down to luck and one guy. The Cleveland Cavaliers didn't get smarter the first, the 2 stints that LeBron James was there. They just had LeBron James and filled in around him. The San Antonio Spurs, who knows what kind of organization they'd be? Who knows how we regard Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford if Tim Duncan hadn't ended up there? Yeah. So, we can talk all we want about, this and that and the plan and the process, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you just need to luck into a great player and the rest takes care of itself.
Amen, brother. Amen. Hey, give us a Rocky update. For our audience that doesn't know, Mike is writing a book on Rocky, the making of the film, which is awesome. And so we're following along every other week when Mike joins us. We follow along on this process.
Well, I was actually texting with Frank Stallone during the Eagles-Rams game on Sunday night, trying to set up a time to talk to him. I'm making plans to head out back to the West Coast sometime early next year to do kind of a big schmear research reporting trip, talk to everybody who's out there, go to the library, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to look through the archives. So I'm transcribing, doing research, and kind of planning ahead for the rest of the research.
I love it. Frank, the great singer.
Oh,
That's Frank.
Hey, you used his song on your radio show.
What's that?
You used his song on your radio show, right?
You remember that? I do. Yeah,
dude, absolutely.
Yeah. I always loved him. He was such a character. Right, like it was so bad, but it was great. Like it was, you know what I mean?
It was so bad, it was good. Yeah, so bad, it was good.
He's like on the Scarface soundtrack too. Like,
was he the bum that sang by the fire?
Yes.
Yep, that was him. He got a phone call. He got a phone call from Sly the night before they filmed that scene. They didn't have enough money to hire guys to come in, so Sly called him up and said, Frank, bring your band down from like Trenton or New York to Philly, and we're going to shoot this scene of you guys standing around the fire in the trash can singing.
It's
Great.
great. And it's an iconic scene. It's a great scene. Take it
It's
back.
awesome.
Yeah.
Take it back. That's the greatest. Man, Mike, happy Thanksgiving. What are you doing for the holiday?
We host. So I get my parents, we get my wife's parents, some other family members, and we watch football and talk and drink and have a great time. So happy Thanksgiving to all you guys.
If you're around, I don't know if you're in the city tomorrow, but we'll be at Reading Terminal. And
Okay.
we'll be there like from 9 on. So if you want to stop by 9 to about 1, I think. So if you want to stop and hang out with us, and we'll be at Molly Malloy's after,
All right. Sounds
by.
good, guys. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate
All
it.
right, brother. Good
All
stuff.
right.
There he is, Mike Seiski. He's terrific.
Yeah, I like Mike. I like his columns are good. His opinion's good. Looking at total team wins.
Would you do it? Would you process it?
I don't want to sit through this.
Yeah.
Here's what's influenced my.
I'd rather just watch McCain drop 30 every game and then lose.
This is influencing my decision. Bet Parks, total team wins regular seaseason. The number is now 38.5. And the under is minus 139.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Ugh,
Oh, I got to get the brain up here, man. He's got to make some sense of that.
let's do it again.
38.5.
Let's process. Baby stink.
Bring back Pinky.
Let's go. I want another Cooper in this town. All right?
Let's
I
have
need
Same
another
here.
fun with a
Cooper.
bad year. Let's
Yeah,
just have fun with it.
Listen, I can do it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Coopadelphia, baby.
Raise the cat.
Coopadelphia.
Yeah, Coopadelphia. I like it. Time now for the brain. Brain. It was his opening.
Red, the brain finder.
Tumbo.
It did look like the
What's up, Brain? You're muted, Brain.
There you go. I gotta watch. I watched Gladiator last night.
You saw Gladiator 2? What'd you think?
I liked it. It was good. I recommend it to your audience. I thought it was an enjoyable film. Didn't like it as much as the first one, but I definitely enjoyed it.
We watched. So here's my review. So me and my wife and the kids and the boys went Saturday because we're big Gladiator fans.
Same here. Yep.
So the only issue I had with it, my wife brought it up first, and she's right. And I love him. He's my favorite.
Oh no.
But he was cartoonish.
Oh no.
He was. I know you were
Denzel.
going to say Denzel. Yeah, he
That's
was.
the great Denzel. And I love Denzel. But it was like I was watching Alonzo from Training Day.
Oh,
In Ancient Rome.
oh. Yes.
Like, he started, he's doing his laugh. Like, I kept waiting for him to go, hey, Maximus, you want to be a sheep or you want to be a wolf?
Yeah.
That was it. Storyline was good. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I enjoyed
the
it.
best part about it, let me ask you, was the water.
That was amazing.
Won the Coliseum.
That
And
was
they
great.
got sharks in the
The
Coliseum.
sharks in there. Yeah,
Oh my
I
That
enjoyed
was
it.
great.
It was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's funny. I used to go to movies all the time. Don't really go as much anymore, but I had a good time. You know, the nice reclining seats.
Yeah.
Ate my popcorn. I was happy.
Yeah,
I'm with you,
got-
bro.
got back.
I'm with it. It was a night. My family, we never go anywhere, so we usually do our movie night, and we had watched. I made the boys watch the first one
Of course.
about
of
a
course.
month ago, and Anthony loved it. Right.
Oh, it's
So
a good movie.
they, they're finally at that age. It's great.
Yeah, of course.
And then we went. So then we all excited. And we went to go see it Saturday night. It was fun.
Well, Anthony, I got back. The best part was I got back, had a ticket on the Ravens, had a ticket on over in the game, which got there at the way end. So it was a happy day all around for me. And I got to tell you, Anthony, and I'm looking forward so much to this Eagles-Ravens game this week. I'll give you a little teaser. I did bet this game, bet like 4 games in the NFL. This is one of the 4 I bet.
Break before we get this. Can I? What do you eat when you get to the movies? What's your grub?
Great question. No, great question. I always do the same thing. I mean, I swear, I think I used to go to the movies more for the food than the movie. I'll get like the big large soda. I've always been like a soda guy, not a beer guy. I love soda.
You go
okay?
diet, Sprite. What do you do?
Yeah, I go diet. I mean, I'm whatever. I do. I know. But I go Coke Zero. Go Coke Zero. Then I get like the popcorn. And actually, this place yesterday randomly had caramel corn, which I hadn't had since like the Johnson's popcorn on like the boardwalk, and I had that, and I really liked it. I was
Wow,
happy,
you had the
man.
caramel corn.
Over butter.
I'd never
popcorn?
seen that in the
I mean,
movie before. I'd never seen it, but it was good. It wasn't as good as like Johnson's. You know the Johnson's on the boardwalk.
It was
I'm talking about?
was that Regal? Would you say Regal?
Yeah, it was Regal. Yeah, it was
So
good. I liked
saw the
it.
same thing. They had the caramel corn and
Yeah.
they had the cheddar.
The cheddar.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had the cheddar too.
Didn't
But
try
I
the
can't
cheddar.
go to the movies.
You gotta get
I gotta
butter.
get buttered
Gotta go
popcorn.
butter.
Oh man.
I get. It was the first time.
Brain.
First
Yeah.
time I've ever done it. By the way, again, first time I've ever done
I
it.
get it.
Not saying I'll do it again. It was
Yeah.
a nice change, but I'll probably go back to
caramel
the right
corn.
popcorn.
It's a good idea. The first like 3 or 4 times
You get sick of it. You get sick
and
of
then
it.
you go,
Yeah.
oh god,
Your hands are all
Sticky.
sticky.
It's too
Yeah,
sweet.
exactly.
Sticky.
Yeah, it's-
Yep.
Yeah.
Brain,
It gets sticky.
Like,
No, it's actually
Hoovers,
true. It's
Raisinets? any candy with it?
Well, usually I'll get like snow caps with it, and sometimes I'll put like the snow caps like, on the
Snow
popcorn, and they melt.
Wow.
No, that's
a
the move.
throwback.
Anything chocolatey that you put in with the popcorn because the chocolate.
Yeah,
melts a
and then
little bit
you
in there.
just I can't wait to eat like when I get the chocolate part with the popcorn VG,
Yeah.
it's like it's heaven.
I
so, like,
agree,
for me-
totally.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
they do that
yeah.
chocolate covered popcorn now.
No, but
See
you don't
that?
want to.
Yeah, yeah, but this is-
bits of chocolate
Yeah.
in and out.
You
So
just
you
feel
feel
bits.
lucky if you get it.
Yeah.
You
What
feel
about the
lucky.
pretzel
That's
nugget?
exactly right.
Is that why you like the snow caps? The caps are weird. The little candy things on top.
Yeah, I mean, I look,
You need
man.
like a peanut.
I
or
do
a
raisinets.
nut.
Dude, I'm
I'll
like
put
an easy-
raisinets in there a little sometimes. Little
I like
Raisinets.
Raisinets.
Yeah.
I like Raisinets. I'm an easy audience. Any kind of chocolate, Anthony, I'm kind of not
Yeah.
going to say no to most. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty easy audience when it comes to candy and stuff like that. But it was,
is with me. Let me throw this at you.
Yeah.
The pretzel bites.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love those. I get. Oh my god, I usually get the pretzel bites too. It's fine. A lot of times, again, I don't want to come across as too big of a
You
pig.
bringing a
for the
tray?
section, but no, I'll get. I mean, again, I'm embarrassing. I'll get the pretzel bites with the cheese. I'll get the snow caps. I'll get the popcorn. I'll get the soda.
What's wrong with
I need
that?
to be carried out on a stretcher when
Well,
it's
that's good.
done.
You're gonna be there 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I'll be honest with
dude.
you.
Again, I think I don't go for the movie. I think I go just to eat like a pig, and it gives me an excuse to do it.
No, but it's
And I don't
fun.
apologize for it.
Listen, it's fun. So,
Yeah.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I agree.
I got a buddy who eats and drinks nothing. It's total psycho move at the movies.
Yeah, I know.
Who would do
that's
that?
strange.
That's psycho.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
That's
thing
like
where
going-
they do with the plane where they just sit there.
Oh, raw
The roll
Yeah,
of
like-
the plane. Yeah.
That's like
It's like going to an NFL game and putting them blindfold, not watching the game, saying, "All right, I heard the crowd at least." I mean, who does that?
No, that's crazy.
Oh my
At least
God,
sneak
that's a
snack
definition
in,
of a
you know?
violation.
At least sneak a snack.
Yeah,
Oh my
you got
One of
it.
those.
Yeah, you got.
I've
it.
never heard anyone ever do that.
I hear more and more of just as the movie's about to start, you hear someone crack a can,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
drink a little beer in the theater.
The bag of candy, ripping it open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We stopped at CVS.
Oh yeah, it's smart. That's
Brady,
actually
bro.
the right move, by the way. Honestly, to get the discount. I mean, I'm not going to say I've done it,
We
but
stopped
it
at
is the right move. Jesus
Oh
God.
my God! Get
We're
rid of
sick in
that.
the
would
head.
you? Oh my
Yeah.
God! I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I was just. I would have stopped at Rite Aid. All right, let's go real quick.
Yes, sir.
Anything now? You bet 4 NFL games already. So you bet Baltimore. I know you did.
I'm sorry, man.
I know we did.
I'm sorry.
I know
I
he did.
didn't want
I know
to.
he
You always
did.
say read the audience.
Yeah, I
read the
know he did.
audience.
Yeah.
Anything less than 3, I was going to bet Baltimore.
What is
here.
it? 3.
Anything less than it's 2.5. I got 2.5.
All right.
2.5 laying 110. Anything less than 3, I was going to. No, 3, I would
Listen,
not have done
I
it.
get
But
it. Like I get it. It all sets up. It's a terrible spot for the Birds. So
exactly. Now it is. No, they are going. Both teams are going West Coast, East Coast. But I will say this: Roquan Smith. Now that's a big thing for him. He's a leading tackler in the NFL. Didn't play last night, Anthony. And before Dobbins got hurt, I will say this: I was surprised. He had like 40 yards on like 6 rushes. No one's been able to run on Baltimore, but not again. They have had
I
Roquan
think
the
he had
entire year.
60. Did he finish with 60 or
40, because I
40,
heard a lot of
yeah.
bitching about people who lost the
Yeah.
over-under with him because he left injured in the second quarter. But to me, that's my main handicap. Again, I just don't.
Well,
the reason what
again,
makes
the
the
Ravens'
Eagles,
strength is their run defense, but
Right, and
without
that's-
Roquan, that's
well, that's the big thing.
that's
We'll
a
see if he
huge
plays
deal.
or not.
Yeah.
It is, and again, that is a huge deal. I did that a little blind, not knowing if he's going to play or not. But to me, the Eagles' strength, what makes them so phenomenal, is this incredible running game. And the one thing I've learned, I remembered, Anthony, from those days, My favorite era of football ever was like the early 90s, late 80s with that Seth Joyner, Reggie White, Jerome Brown, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Byron Evans, Clyde Simmons, Eagles defense, right? And I remember they went 5 years without allowing a 100-yard rusher. 5 years. I'm going to repeat that. 5 years. I always remember you could not – a good run defense, I don't care how good. They went up against Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, didn't make Eric Dickerson. No one could run on them. So to me –
you know why? I mean, they stuffed 8 in the box every game.
Yeah, but they didn't – okay, and it worked.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No. It was brilliant, but it was just interesting how they did it, which is like they fill gaps. Like
right.
You know.
And I just don't know if as great as Barkley is, as superhuman as he's been, and maybe he'll just because of his immense greatness, he'll still have a good game. But to me, that is the Eagles are last in the NFL in pass attempts, Anthony. Do you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And to me, Baltimore's weakness is more the secondary, and I don't know if Hurts has been good enough to take advantage of it. I still see the guy missing a lot of throws. Just my 2 cents. Again, I could definitely be wrong. Totally get it. But I think Baltimore does win this game.
Who do you have Thanksgiving? A little early turkey.
I mean, look, well, listen, in the Dallas game, the only way I think you can look, Anthony, again, I'm not betting it, but it would be Dallas just because they at least showed a pulse last week. They at least showed a pulse. The Lions game,
big game, like that'll be their
right. Because this is like and the Lions game.
It's a lot of points, man.
It is. It's a lot of points. It is a lot of points. Caleb's actually played better, Anthony, and the Lions are banged up. I was reading they have a lot of like injuries. A couple offensive linemen are out, which I mean that's a big thing.
You're all against the Bears front. Bears can rush the passer. Yeah,
the Bears can rush the passer. Caleb's looked a little bit better. But that being said, I just can't fade this Lions team. I can't do it. Slightest of slight leans to Detroit. But again, another game I'm not betting. And what's the third game, Anthony? I'm spacing right now.
Green Bay, Miami.
Oh, Green Bay. Oh, I bet this game too. Yeah. I bet Green Bay laying 3. I think Miami's getting a little bit too much respect. A little bit too much respect here. I thought this line should have been closer to 4.5, 4. I laid 3 with Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins this game. 2 in the cold, Anthony. I'm going to make him prove it.
Yeah.
He's just never done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never done it. I'm being fair.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you got tonight? Anything at all?
Yeah, I got a prop, Anthony. Kevin Durant's back after a long stretch off. He had, I think it was a hamstring injury or whatnot, but I think they overly docked him. I don't think anything I've read, he's not on any kind of minutes restriction. They made his over under 2.5 assists. Anthony, he's gone over this about 80% of the time.
Wow.
In his career, 80%. I mean, this is just a bet that should win. Again, he averages closer to 5. You're making it 50%. Now think of it like this: he averages 26.5. They lowered that to 22.5. I lean over, but he averages 5 assists. They lowered it to 2.5. So you're lowering the points like 15, 20%, and you're lowering the assists 50%. Doesn't make sense, Anthony. We got to find those inefficiencies. Take over 2.5 assists, Kevin Durant.
All right, I like it. I like it. All right, buddy. Great stuff, man. As always. A lot of fun. You're the best.
Appreciate you guys.
Be available in the afternoon, okay? Just telling you that.
What to this afternoon?
Yeah.
You got it. You text me one.
Good stuff. Later, thanks, buddy. Here he is, the brain. We're playing on Cousins Corner for the holiday.
Nice.
So we'll go through. It's where we go through all the games.
Live.
All right, coming up, Berman, fresh from L.A., where he covered the game. Well, I love visiting with Berman on a Tuesday. Kind of going through the whole thing. Now he's digested it. He's back off the flight. We're ready to go.
On a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday. That's correct. All right, let's talk about some of our friends, shall we? Golden Nugget Jewelers. Look, holidays. It's all about it, right? Black Friday's coming up. Holidays, the whole thing. The best time of the year. Look, do yourself a favor. Go to Golden Nugget Jewelers. If you have a woman in your life, all right? And it could be your mom, your grandmom, your aunt, your sister. All right. If you have a girlfriend, a wife, you got to go see your own at Golden Nugget Jewelers. It's where Philly gets engaged, right? But also diamond rings. You got the earrings, right? You have necklaces and charms and you name it, right? Stuff that women love. All right. They love jewelry, beautiful jewelry. You find it at Golden Nugget Jewelers, all right? And if you're in the market for an engagement ring, You met that special somebody, you're thinking about the holidays, just go see your own. Again, he'll give you a whole education on the diamond cut, clarity, carrot, right? The 3 C's. He'll get you all set up for the engagement ring and make sure it works within your budget. I've sent scores of guys over to Golden Nugget Jewelers and to live happily ever after. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com, 8th and Chestnut Center City in the heart of Jewelers Row. Go see my man Yaron, and you tell him Cuz sent you. All right? Now, let's talk about Labette Park Sportsbook and online casino app. Listen, it's going to be a fun weekend, right? A fun holiday weekend where it's a great football. This is where we love football. We just got done talking about it. 3 games on Thursday. So you're sitting on a couch. You got the turkey. You're enjoying football, the whole thing. You got to have the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app right there at your fingertips. All right? Because you're going to watch all the games. You can play any game, all the props. You go, 10.5's a lot. So maybe I just want to, bring it down to 7. And then, I want to parlay it with the Packers. Like, you can do all that stuff. I mean, it's the greatest thing in the world. All right? There's a myriad of plays. You can have a lot of fun with it all day long. And then Friday, big college day. Saturday, big college day. Back to the NFL on Sunday and birds. You want to have it this weekend. And by the way, while you're watching the game, you can mess around with the casino and have some fun. Live casino blackjack, right? Live dealers right there. Baccarat, like my man VG plays. All the hot online slots, the Rocky slots, the Peaky Blinders.
The Dallas game's a little boring. Do a little live craps.
Yeah, he's like to throw the bones. He rolls the bones, my man. So check it out. In fact, new customers, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down your first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Ohio, Michigan, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, this portion of the program brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to find the credit union difference. You ready for a little Z-Berm?
Always ready for a Z-Berm.
Let's bring him on here. Z-Berm! Zachariah!
Yeah.
From
Hey, good morning.
All PHLY Eagle Show. Let me get this shameless plug out of the way. Zach wrote a phenomenal book that will make a great present. All right? So while you're shopping, what's the matter? Oh, you get the book over there?
Trying to advertise too.
I thought there was a critter in this joint. There's the book. Buy it. Every Eagle fan on your list will love it. You got a book signing coming up?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I got a number of book signings coming up. I got one next week at a bowling alley out in a sports bar out in like Norristown area. I'll put that on social media. I have some of my Wheelhouse cards coming up, and I have Main Point Books in Wayne coming up. I have a bookstore in Phoenixville. So I'll put all that out on social media. I appreciate it.
Well, are you kidding me? We love you. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
All right?
Thank you.
It's a great book.
He's got a good PHLY hoodie.
Yeah, it looks good.
Available.
Yeah, this is me promoting.
Sale coming up this weekend on the site too.
Yeah.
Like 30% off. You get that hoodie.
Yeah, it's a good hoodie.
I want to be a diehard.
I love it. All right. Dude, what a game. What a game. I mean, there's a million things to talk about, all right? So let's unpack it. And let's unpack it. We know about the obvious. We know about the Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the line play is some of the best line play that you'll ever see. Like, going back and looking at it, he's only the second level, and he's ridiculous, right? Because you can't tackle him. When he has a head of steam in the second level, you can't arm tackle him. Forget him. You're done. But the line play, let's give some love to that O-line.
You're absolutely right. And, I spoke to Saquon on Friday about the benefit of yards before contact, because there was so much attention that was paid when they signed him to what he can do after contact. But he spoke about how, like, when he can get those yards before he's touched, and it gives him some momentum there. It gives him time for vision. It's really allowed him. It's enhanced Saquon's running, and you hit it on the head. Obviously, Lane Johnson's been one of the best players in the NFL over the past decade. But when you see the way the guards are playing, Landon Dickerson, you saw him downfield on the first long Saquon run. But Mekhi Becton has been terrific, I think, and especially in the run game, you see the length, the physicality.
He's so damn
Yeah.
big.
You're right.
And it's amazing because him and Lane, damn. Nasty.
Yeah. He's really taken to that guard spot. Jeff Stoutland's done a good job getting him adjusted there. And it's interesting with Stout. Stout tends to go with homegrown guys. If you just look at the Eagles' track record in 11 years with Stout, 12 years with Stout. 12 years with Stout. It's been mostly homegrown players. Mekhi Becton was a rare free agent starter that they signed. And it's because the raw talent's there. But behind the scenes, and I spoke to Stout about this about a month and a half ago, he's really taken to that position. He's been open to learning. He's been kind of everything that they could have wanted behind the scenes at right guard.
Well, you know what was great about it, smart about it was, they went into the draft knowing they had two needs, right? Like they really wanted to focus on the defensive backs and offensive line. Mm-hmm. And, you get lucky that you get both your wish list defensive backs, and then you're able to get Becton to fill the need for the O-line. It worked out perfectly.
Literally the day after the draft. It's the sign, frankly, of a good front office when you have the backup plan, the contingency. Because I thought going into the draft, I should say this. I thought coming out of the draft, it was a problem that the Eagles didn't address O-line sufficiently enough. I thought this was a really deep class, and to go, 4 rounds before they didn't take an O-lineman until the 5th round. And even then you're taking more project type players. I thought there were opportunities in the first 3 rounds to get O-linemen. And so for them to react the next day, have that backup plan with Becton, bring Becton in, and then move him to guard that summer or in the spring. It's a good job. And it's one, I was critical of them after the draft for not addressing O-line, but they found a 25-year-old, 26-year-old former first-round pick. Now we'll see what happens beyond this season. But this year, he's been everything they could have wanted.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, their offense, like when he's going, what's amazing about him too is that we all see the big home runs. Like he's Aaron Judge when it comes to home runs. But his boom, 7 yards, boom, 8 yards. Like what they did against the Rams. Now the Rams have a young front, but I'm sorry, like they got some talent there. And they mashed getting 6, 7, 8 on first down. It's just a dream. It's an offensive dream. Like I was wondering, all right, like if you're the Rams, you got to sell out, and you got to sell out against Barkley. I was shocked, to be honest with you, that they went light sometimes.
Yeah, Lane was saying after the game that in the first half, the Eagles were really trying to figure out how to kind of counteract what the Rams were doing. They were bringing 97 kind of over top the line and messing with the Eagles combo blocks there. And so Lane said that the thought was if they just stick to the run, figure it out, get hat on hat, then there will be opportunities in the second half. And that's exactly what happened. And, Saquon this year is averaging nearly 2 times more yards per carry in the second half than the first half. And obviously that says something about Saquon, but to me, that says a lot about the second half adjustments that the Eagles are making with the run game. You saw, and it's not just Saquon. You saw the 2 Kenny Gainwell runs 2 weeks ago. That those trap plays there, those were really something that had been in the book. They were waiting for the right opportunity. They saw going into halftime they could have opportunities with them there, and they called them at the right time. So to me, that's a positive sign when you're able to adjust as the game goes on, figure it out, and then get the benefit of it in the second half.
I'm with. Speaking of adjustments, can I you and I need to laud the fan genius, because you want to talk about adjusting. So we have seen this a couple times now, where a team comes out and will go right down the field on them. And then the next thing you know, Cincinnati had the long drive, like Fangio adjusts. And the next thing you know, the defense is on stop mode. 3 consecutive 3-and-outs after the Rams drove the field the first two possessions. 3 of them. Oh, we lost him. Yeah,
Wow,
Give me a
that
dust
was
there.
laser focus there.
I know.
That
Like,
was like scary.
I was like, now's your time.
It was
Like, I don't need to put a question mark. It's a conversation. Like, it's your turn.
It's like Naked Gun. You probably never saw Naked Gun. They hypnotize people like must kill the queen. He had those eyes like must kill the queen.
Let me know when we get him back. Yeah.
See Berman.
I got to tell you, I can't wait for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask Zach. Let me ask your thoughts on this.
No, I'm talking about tomorrow. We're going to be at ready term.
I know.
He's back.
Oh, all right.
All right, what do you want to ask me?
Can your boy Jalen play the edge?
Huh?
Can Jalen Carter play the edge?
Oh, no, you don't want him on the edge.
No?
Well, you can move him up and down like Aaron Donald. You find something, but he's so effective inside. When he's over center, he just disrupts.
Right.
He's unbelievable. Hey, Zach.
Hey, sorry, I lost there. I heard your question, and I really want to address this because you and I had a conversation a few times back in training camp, and I got to say, I'm not totally on your side here, but I'm getting there. And that I've always been a players guy, right? More so than the coaches. I'm like, it's about the players. It's about the players. It's about the players. But when I see what Vic Fangio's done, I gotta say, you're right about the benefit of the coordinator. You're right about the benefit of the coach, the scheme, and the game plan. Because so much of what we're seeing here, not to take away from the players, but this has a lot to do with having a guy like Vic Fangio calling them.
You don't have a game without the players. So I think it's obvious, but I'm glad. But I need you to walk it all the way because I just go Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh. All right, like all those guys. Like great coaches win. Like that's just what it is. And then you have all those, I'm a player's coach. And where's Brandon Staley at? Oh, Brandon Staley's not here. Brandon Staley stinks. Right? Like that's all part of it. But again, I'm sorry. You're right. Like Fangio, what he did, what he's done in his adjustments, spectacular.
Yeah. And it's the game plans each week, figuring out based on the quarterback, figuring it out based on the opponent's weapons. It's and really the way he's getting this group to play off each other, the way that the backers are playing with the secondary. I gotta say, I've always thought you need really good edge rushers to have a top defense, and they're showing this year that they can do it without top of the league edge rushers. It's a credit to them. And I really think like Vic Fangio, it's night and day compared to what they had last year.
Night and day. It's both sides of the ball, mind you.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball. But Fangio, it's the professionalism that you see, right? It's part. Now listen, he's helped by having those 2 kids in the secondary who are ridiculous, and Carter, because he's such a game wrecker. Like, Milton the Monster has 2 sacks because of Carter, right? They have 5 sacks on the night because of Carter and eating up. Like, it was astronomical. They're doubling him constantly. You never see a guy get doubled like that.
You're absolutely right. It reminds me, Connor Barman, who's a really good player, but there was a year I think he had 14 and a half sacks. And I remember talking to him when he made the Pro Bowl, and he's like, playing next to Fletcher Cox really helps with that, right? And you're seeing Milton Williams is a good player, but the attention that Jalen Carter's getting, they had the graphic on the screen on Sunday night when I was watching the TV copy that about the amount of snaps that he was double teamed. And it's like the ultimate compliment to Jalen Carter. And you always hear it in the locker room that when someone gets double teamed, who's going to take advantage next to him? Who's going to benefit from it? And Milton Williams now has a career high 5 sacks. It doesn't surprise me that it's playing next to Jalen Carter that's happening.
All right, so the sad news from the game, obviously, is poor BG. And leaves it out on the field, the whole thing, Warrior, sad, especially after the 2-hand slap. Like, it's a shame, man. So what's the deal? Like, we're going to see more Hunt?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have numbers there, right? They have 3 healthy edge rushers right now. Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, and Jalen Hunt. So obviously Jalen Hunt's going to play more. Well, we know that. Nolan Smith, the Eagles like the way Nolan Smith's been developing this year. They think he brings a toughness to the table. He plays, he's whistle to whistle. And so you like that. But this is a huge loss. And you couple that in with losing Bryce Huff. I mean, take away. Obviously, we all know Brandon Graham, the type of leader he is, the type of personality that he is, all the intangible characteristics. But he's been really productive for them at a position where they need it. So they have, and they don't really have many internal options otherwise. They have some guys on the practice squad. Teron Jackson's been around. They're going to add KJ Henry, a former Clemson standout. Mike Garafolo, our friend, reported that yesterday. And he played 41% of the defensive snaps in Washington last year. But you're not signing
last week.
You're not signing someone this point in the year and expecting him to be a major difference maker there. So there's different things they can do. They can play Milton Williams more on the outside. Zach Bond, who's been so good at linebacker, but the Eagles think Zach Bond has that type of versatility that they can use him in, almost like 5-1 fronts as an edge rusher. And I think that's something that they could do. But this
froze. He's like that commercial, the insurance commercial. The guy was freezes.
Oh yeah, I don't know that one.
Oh man,
The freeze guy.
Zachariah turned into an ice pop. All right, to get back to where we were with you guys.
He's back. He's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again.
So
I don't know, man. It was
yeah,
weird.
that's my fault there. My fault on my Ethernet connection. The
Wait,
biggest
like
area
a football guy because you went preposition. My fault there.
Yeah, I got to do a better job.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The biggest area of concern for me this year for the Eagles is progression from this defense, and in particular, if they don't have the pass rush that they're going to need in late December, January. And it's something that I'm keeping my eye on here because I just don't know if they have the personnel to really have a difference around the edge come playoff time.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's fair. I mean, I'll tell you, thank God. Now, it's interesting because would you slide Bond down a little bit? You think he does that?
Yeah, I do think you're going to see more of that. I have a story come out later this week on the linebacker situation and really what they're getting with Bond and Dean. I've spoken to some people behind the scenes for this story, and the one thing that they keep fortifying to me or emphasizing to me is Zach Bond. Like, it's a good story how he's become this inside backer, but he's a football player. And they point out, like, he can play on the edge for you. He can play, he can play in so many different spots. So he can kind of be a joker on this defense.
Yeah, I'm with you. By the way, Kobe playing well too. Kobe's
He really has.
He's starting to blossom.
Yeah, and he's healthy. That's the key. He was dealing with foot issues all year last year. But speaking to Nakobe, he's not surprised by this. Like, this is exactly what he expected this season. That's
awesome. And the kids, I love my boys, Coop, Quignon.
Yeah,
they're the best, man. If I tell you, there's Fangio, but then there's those 3 kids who have just completely changed this whole defense. I mean, the back end, Stafford would have shredded them last year. Shredded them. I don't care what they would have shredded them. Not this year. Not with those kids back there.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean what he's done, and I bring him up because Quignon's played the whole year,
Yeah.
right? But Cooper, when he entered the lineup after the bye, it stabilized the secondary. It gave you a level of athleticism and toughness and size that they didn't have before. Really, the size and the athleticism. Avonte Maddox is a tough guy, but the size and the athleticism that Cooper gives you, you're seeing it in tight coverage. You're seeing it on these third down stops that he has. He's been outstanding for them.
I love him. I do. By the way, he needs some. I'd rather have him returning kicks than Covey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you say that? I'm curious. Why do you say that?
I just think he's more explosive.
I agree with that. I do think he's more explosive. I think there's two things there. He's playing a lot of snaps on defense, right? And then they obviously they want to keep him healthy, and they think Covey's sure-handed, makes good decisions back there. But you're right. I do think Cooper, that running style does give them something different. I wouldn't be surprised.
Playoffs.
I wouldn't be surprised if they use both of them. Exactly.
Yeah, and playoffs. I go back to Cope in the playoffs. Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to get serious for a second, I want to get down to what did you eat? How's the food at SoFi?
The food at SoFi is fine. The food in LA is great. So I had some really good sushi in LA. I had great Italian on Saturday night in Santa Monica. I actually caught up with
I'm going to the pier.
Where'd you go? Santa Monica?
I gotta look up the name of the place. It's a good spot. But before that, I met up with Tony Ascenda. Friend.
Did you stay at Marriott?
I stayed at Manhattan Beach.
Okay.
But I met some people in Santa Monica. They had the cheese wheel at the restaurant, so you're getting like the real fresh. That was really good. I had a good bolognese. It was awesome.
Nice.
But I met up before that with Tony Ascenda, who you worked with back on the commercial back in the fall.
I love Tony. Tony's the
Yep.
best, man. He's a very talented director. We love Tony. Very proud of him. That's nice. I'm glad.
Hey, Zach, also, just to get on this, because I heard you mention it on your show yesterday, Eagles show, they do like a facial recognition when you walk in the stadium?
No, so I went to the Clippers game, all right, on Friday night, and I saw the 60-minute special on their new arena that they built there. It's like the arena of the future. And you download your headshot into the app, and then you walk into the stadium. You don't even give a ticket. It just scans your face to let you in. And then when you're getting food, when you're getting beer, whatever you're getting there, there's no one working counters or anything. You literally go up, you grab the hot dog, and it scans your face, and it charges a credit card that's in your app.
That's crazy.
I know. I hate it. I'll be honest with you. I hate it. It takes away the whole human experience, man. I'm sorry. It takes away jobs. I mean, it sucks. It does.
Spoken from a former usher there.
I was an usher.
Yeah.
I get it. So, those jobs, they don't pay much. But guess what? Every little bit helps. People need that stuff, man.
You're spot on, cuz.
Yeah, they're scanning your face, probably selling your facial data and stuff. Next thing you know, you're in a video game, a background character in the background of a video game.
Scary.
I will say though, outside of like the facial stuff and the technology, the in-game experience there, like the how close the seats are. I was sitting up top on the terrace level, and like you felt you were in the game. I checked out the wall, which is essentially like a student section that they have, and you're right on top of the court. So yeah, look, I mean, I'll stay out of like the city politics arguments, but from like a pure basketball viewing perspective, it'd be cool to have a building like that in Philly.
Yeah, no, I get you. I feel, listen, it's good. You need something. You got to you got to dress it up to watch this slop.
Hey, I want to hear what Devon says about what's going on there at the Sixers.
Yeah, well, he's coming right up.
Yep.
Z-Bear, we love you. Hey, yo, tomorrow, I don't know what time your show tomorrow. Oh, you're off. It's Wednesday.
I'll be at the facility. Practice, they move stuff around because of Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to get to the terminal to be with Rich and Jamie, but really it depends.
Well, it's up
I'm
to
talking
you.
to the coordinators tomorrow.
Well, you can come hang with us. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll feed you.
You know what? I'm going to stop there on the way down to to the facility.
Well,
so I
if you're around,
yeah, I want to see all the listeners.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll make sure I'm
eat.
around.
Yeah, we'll have because we're going to sample all the food from the market. We do a big thing, so it'll be great. We'll be talking to people, and so we want you to eat. So you come and hang with us.
I'll say less. I'll be there. You got it. I will be there.
Thanks,
all right,
buddy.
see you guys tomorrow. Yep.
See you, buddy. There he is, Z Berman. Zachariah.
This food talk is killing me because someone brought in pulled pork for our Friendsgiving that's going on today, and it's just the aroma and all the food that you're talking about. I'm dying over here right now.
Computer over there, cuz.
Yeah, you guys are making Google eyes at each other.
It's the smell.
JP's like making the feed me.
I'm wafting, cuz.
Like he's
you smell the pulled pork? You smell that barbecue?
Like he's Derrick Henry. Like yes. and you're like making gyrations. It's too early.
I'm melting over here.
I can't.
We're working, man. We're working.
It's too early.
Man.
Focus. Right. I smell
rubbing his belly.
Right off the bat, these guys. Oh my God. Yeah, it sounded like there was a nude woman walked behind the glass.
Cuz you work with a couple fatties. What can I say?
You know, unbelievable. Oh my God. All right. Let's talk about our friends for a second, shall we? This is one of my favorite times of the day when we talk about Parks Casino.
Oh, snap.
All right. This is always one of my fun. I need to talk. I need to pull it up here. All right. Because we want to tell you what's happening at Parks Casino. Here we go. All right. Here's the lineup. You ready?
Let's do
Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. Listen, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. It is the mecca of entertainment. And here we go. For the Excite Center. Yeah. Here are the newest shows on sale. Tickets for March 7th. Country star Scotty McCreery.
Just give me 5 more minutes.
Oh my God. That's on VG.
That's pretty good.
That was really good.
January 17th, comedian Jessica Kirsten. January 18th, the reggae sounds of Shaggy.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Caught me on the counter. It wasn't me.
Plus, the annual Joe Conklin Holiday Spectacular. 2 shows, December 5th and 19th, starring Joe Conklin, we love Joe, Pete Spina. It's Pete Spina's City Rhythm Orchestra in Club 360, featuring Mike Baldini.
Yeah.
Doing the traditional singing of Dominic the Donkey.
Hey, tick. Dominic the Donkey. Dominic Christmas Donkey.
The Italian Christmas Donkey. Dude, you're good at that.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. The Italian Christmas Donkey. My kids used to love it.
We have to do
one of my
Cuz
favorites.
Christmas Carol here.
It's one of
Dude,
your
that's
favorites.
awesome that you did.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Actor Richard Kind from Curb Your Enthusiasm, January 24th.
Whoa, Larry, whoa.
February 8th, Jerry Cantrell, Alice in Chains.
Feed my eyes. Can you sew them shut?
March 8th, magician Michael Carbonaro.
Yo, whoa, what happened? Where'd that car go?
March 22nd, country star Lee Bryce.
There's a rumor going around about me and you.
Parks Casino, buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, cuz. Well, let's talk real quick about our finances. And listen, cuz always talks about it. The NFL is a coach's league. And your finances, believe it or not, is a coaching league as well. You need the right coach to get the right finances, and TrueMark Financial is going to help you out with that. Of course, we're going to focus about our children real quick, right? Because obviously holidays are coming up, and it starts with Thanksgiving, and I've been there, right? My abuela would come down to Jersey, and she would give me a couple bucks, right? Your aunts are giving the kids a couple bucks, the uncles, the cousins, everyone's giving them a couple bucks. So they have all this money. They need to manage it. Right now, TrueMark Financial has its free green light account to help teach financial responsibility for our young ones. It's a free app, and it's a change in the game right now. It's helping kids to learn how to earn, save, and spend wisely. It's something that we all could have used as young ones as well. They can set up saving goals, track their spending, and even get an allowance, all right there in the Greenlight app. And here's the really cool part about it as well. Each kid gets their own debit card. I know that sounds scary, but they will get their debit card, and that's all part of the financial responsibility that we are teaching them. So what are you waiting for? Get signed up here today. Visit truemark.com/screenlight. That's truemark.com/screenlight. Of course, as always, there's 24 branches in the Philadelphia area. You can always walk in there as well for more information. So what are you waiting for? Get the right coaching right now with our friends over at TrueMark Financial.
All right, JP, thank you, buddy. This portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. RiteAid.com for the store nearest you. All right, now let's go to my man to make some sense. I want to see if my man's on board for this. All right? From the all PHLY Sixers show, my main man, the great Devon Givens. So would you be down with a 1-year process, an inter-process?
All right. So, I've just gotten to know the guys in there over the last year. I knew VG for a few years. You know me best. I couldn't stand the rebuild.
So he hated it. We used to go back and forth. We usually agree on 90% of things.
Yeah.
But that was one that we used to go back and forth on, which is why I had to lead with it.
Come on, we'll get the band back together. Henry Sims, Hollis Thompson, Sam Hinkie.
No, listen. They are what they are. You don't have to do any of it. For 1 year, I want to watch McCain drop 30, right, every night. And then I'm gonna move Joel to the Black Forest in Germany, all right? So this way he could be at the Institute to get his cartilage and all the knee fixed or whatever. PG is going to join him, all right? He'll have another suite in the Black Forest, and I'm going to roll, all right? I'm going to go load management maxi, and then I'm going to just pause. I'm going to draft Cooper Flag, and then I'm going to go back at it.
Oh man, no, I'm not down with that. I can't deal with that again. But I understand that the place that they are currently in, the state that they have us all in, and watching this product is you're trying to get creative of how to fix this thing and how to fix it for the better. I'm not on board, but I understand where you're coming from.
Well, I didn't think you would be on board.
That would be some. Look, a lot of people are already saying, blow it up, tank it. It's done. Just go get Cooper Flag as it is. So I think you would have a lot of people on your side.
Well, it's not about blowing it up, right? I want to pause it. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm looking at right now. My biggest issue is I don't see how Embiid is going to be good for stretches. Right, like that's my fear. Can I envision they all come he and PG come back and they have a 2-week stretch where they look great? I just don't see it sustaining. I don't know how that's going to work out enough where you're not going to be a 7-8 seed or worse.
Yeah. I don't disagree, especially when you're already 10 games under 500. I had to stop myself from, and I said it on your show, of course, said it on our show, where I would tell everybody, hey, I'm right there with you, but the East isn't great. Well, they're starting to separate themselves from those teams where we were looking at, hey, you're only 3.5 games back of the 4th spot. Now you're looking at, okay, now you're 5.5 games back at the 6th seed. And those teams they're going to lose their fair share, but they're going to continue to win their fair share, which is not going to really help you out and starting to chip away at getting right back into the mix of that top 6. You're probably going to be somewhere in that 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's not what you signed up all of this for from this summer. You're absolutely right. And they will have, I'm pretty certain, like you, that they will have a stretch of 2 weeks where they're going to be really good. But is it going to put a dent in where they already created this crater that they already have their feet in, and they're just continuing to sink? And it's tough for me to have to sit here and say, yes, they will, because I don't know the answer to that. But if I did lean back and try to give some truth serum, I would probably say, no, they are not going to dig themselves out of this hole because of what you just said. If the other guys don't play, with Maxey playing sparingly and McCain playing a lot of the games, I said this early, and I'll bring up Al, the 2-minute warning, who's on our show often. And Al, I said during one of the shows that it was a post-game show in which they lost, that this would be a lottery team if they kept the guys out for a while. So to your point, you're accurate in thinking that they would naturally. You don't even have to have Henry Sims, as JP said. You don't have to have Henry Sims and Hollis Thompson and all those guys, because on merit they would lose because they're just simply not good enough as is.
And I guess the issue is, if you told me, and I could believe this, that I could restart the thing in a week, 2 weeks, and I could restart and they would be fine through April. All right, then I think they could make up the ground and go be a 5 seed or whatever, 6 seed even, but be dangerous. I just don't. We don't have any of the confidence, right? Like at some point, just to save the rest of the contract, the next 2-3 years, maybe just shut them down. I mean, I don't know the doctors, and I don't know exactly. We know about the cartilage and everything else, but if they just shut him down for a full, almost year, right, like 9 months with intensive rehab and whatever issues that could be, implants for the knee. I don't know. I mean, but if you did that, and then you buy 2 years of really good Embiid, I mean, I would sign up for it.
I can't really disagree with you, because of if it's going to guarantee that he could be healthy enough for 2 years, where you're going to get 60 plus games in both seasons, and Maxey and even George doesn't have to play a lot, then I understand. Because right now, again, look at where they are, and what are the results, what are the solutions, other than getting creative and trying to figure it out. Because while you may have thought that with the George teaming up with Embiid and Maxey, that all right, you don't have to win a championship the year, and I know that you were one, and there are many people saying get to the playoffs, even get to the conference finals, make that advancement that they have been unable to do. That's good. Well, now you're probably out of that mix, and with it, this is something that is creative. I personally, again, I want to see them go out there until they can't, and that's probably. And there might be 10 games where I'm finally like, all right, I'm on Anthony's side. AG, you were right. This is where they need to go. 16 games in, and we're almost at game number 20. And it's not going to get easier. The fact that they have Houston tomorrow night, then you have to go on the road against Detroit, who is just a spunky team. Not that they're good, but they play hard. They play hard for Bickerstaff, and that's what they're going to go out there and do. And you're back on the road once again, and you don't know if Joel's going to be out there. And even if Paul George is out there, we haven't seen enough of a sample size with he and Maxey as the 1 and 2. That's going to give you enough confidence that they're going to go out there and win a basketball game. So they could be at game number 20 in a couple of games here, and we're looking at 3-17. And then that might be my boiling point where I'm like, AG, you were right. Shut Embiid down. He's not going to come back healthy, so you might as well just let him rest, get that rehab in. If he needs a procedure done, whatever he has to do, go to Germany, as you pointed out, take the family to Germany, and make sure that get all the the cells that they have to get in, whatever they go over there and do to go in there and get it done. I'm not quite there yet, but I might be joining you sooner rather than later.
I mean, right now they're just on wide. I mean, like it was like I knew it, right? Like everybody knew it, but I was like, I'm watching Rams. I read Niners, Packers, and I don't even care if that game's getting out of hand. I'm watching football. There's no way I'm going to subject myself to watching Harden kick their ass. Like, there's no way I was going to do that. I was like, I can't see Harden, who's playing really well. He looked great the other night. I don't want to see it. I can't see it. I can't.
And then they got rocked. They got rocked by Boston last night. So
speaking of getting rocked, could you imagine this team gets an 8 seed, right? And then you have to play the Celtics in the first round.
Yeah, mercy rule. Yeah, that's where we would be.
Devon, can this team win the championship?
No.
So you have to be on our side here, because otherwise you're just going to get
not yet.
See a draft pick and we get nothing. We next year is the same old. We need some youth.
No, you do. You do need some more youth to it. And when you talk about the top 6 there, you have some athleticism, some youth,
Ace Bailey.
some size there. Overall, they can't win a championship right now. But I guess just for me, even the 16 in already, where I'm just like, all right, give me a couple more before I'm on your side, VG. Just give me a few more, because if it's gonna get bad, it's gonna get bad. So what's the difference in me saying yes right now versus
Right.
me saying yes later, a week and
That
a
makes
half
sense.
later? I'm already with you, but
Yeah.
let me hang on to a little bit that I have to hang on to for right now until I completely jump on your side.
Well, he's got to talk an hour every day, Sixers. So
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And post game.
And lost in the whole thing. Damn, man. PG, when Paul George plays, he don't even look good.
His only good game was against New York 2 weeks ago. His only good game was 2 weeks ago against New York. We had that 29. He hit a few threes. He looked really good in that game, and that gave people, again, some hope.
That's
and
what
that
I expected.
Was 5 or 6 games ago. Yeah,
I expect. All right, like that's what I expect out. But I see a lot of like 2 for 9, like not being aggressive, like not trying to take over. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like I
dribbling
need
the
you to
air out
take
of the
over.
ball.
He scares me in that. Like, listen, it was the right thing. We agreed, but you and I both had this conversation that there's a piece of us that looks at him like he's not an alpha. Like, he's not a guy that's going to go and get on my back. Like, he's a little bit of a Robin.
Yeah, and he's missing wide open 3-pointers. He's getting some decent looks on the catch and shoot, especially in the corner. He's getting some good looks there. Short corner, you're supposed to knock those down. Dribbling too much in the flow of the offense, where guys are kind of standing around. Then when they start to move a little bit too late, that's too late for a pass for you to hit somebody in a spot where it might be a pretty good one that they've created to get a good shot off at closer to the rim. And he has not. Outside of that one game, then you go back to the Phoenix game where he had just some spots there in the game where he looked okay, and then he didn't know what the score was at the end of the game, where Tyrese Maxey was having himself a night against the Phoenix Suns. So this has been a huge disappointment. Now we know he's dealing with the injury, with the bone bruise now twice. Not his fault, but when he was out there, he didn't look good at all. And that's not what they signed up
like,
for.
You know what? I'm trying to figure out.
I wonder.
You don't look at games.
I wonder if he's because for whatever we want to say about Joel Embiid, even in the short term, and coming out of that meeting, they did not like stuff being leaked. But the one point that we did get was he didn't know what was going on with the offense. Does Paul George know what's going on with the offense? Do the rest of them know what's going on with the offense? And that's not giving him an out, because you're a veteran. You figure something out to get a decent shot just simply by, all right, I need to freestyle here. Let's see if we can get something done. Let's get a good shot. I'll just create one-on-one. We'll deal with that when we get to the huddle. Hey, I don't know what we were running. I had to do something. I know how to create things 15 years into the league of getting us a decent look at the basket. We're all pros here. But is that something? Is that a problem? And then that goes back to the coaching staff and what they are running, because as Kyle and I talked about extensively on the show yesterday, a lot of it is pretty generic, where there was a lot of creativity in Toronto. We even saw some of the creativity last year, Anthony, when some of the guys went down. Embiid was out at the time. DeAnthony Melton went down. Robert Covington was down for a decent amount. Tyrese Maxey broke his foot, and you had those guys competing. They were in games. Patrick Beverley is 20 plus, almost beating the Boston Celtics in TD Garden last year. You had games when Marcus Morris was going off, and he was in the 18 to 20 points, where they were competing again without them because of the creativity and what they understood Nick Nurse's offense to be. And because of the fact that some were returning from last year, a full training camp, and while Embiid was not practicing, George and Maxey were practicing. So you were going to have a different look of offenses from the Embiid-led offense with Maxey and George as the 2 and the 3. You were going to have the Maxey and George offense when Embiid was not playing. And then you're going to have an offense where, because we also knew that George wasn't going to play a lot of games either, they were going to give him some games off, where you're going to have the Maxey-led offenses. I don't know what we've seen of them. Now, we've only seen 6 minutes of the tier 1 of what those 3 guys, the big 3. We've seen a little bit of a sample size of the Maxey George. That hasn't worked either. And then we have seen a lot of the Maxey, and that hasn't even played out well to result into wins. So just circling back to what we just said, what is their offense? Where is it? And what were the things that were installed, and why are they not working?
Spot on. Yo, I know you got a game tomorrow night, but if you're around.
I'm ready to lace them up. Yes, I am.
Well, I want you to lace them up. But also come over to Reading Terminal tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to try to get down there in the morning because I know I have something a little bit later in the afternoon. And then the game, of course, that the Sixers play against the Houston
I'll
Rockets.
feed you, man. We're going to wear all kinds of great food.
Oh, I know that.
It's a party.
I know that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that. Absolutely.
All right, brother. You're the best. Love you, man.
Appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Love you too.
There he is. Devon. Tank.
Dude,
tank.
Sixers are depressing.
You have to at this point.
Tank. Yeah, I'm all about it.
We wear the old.
I did a 1 year tank. Yeah. We can't get out of here today without talking to Charlie. All right.
I love Charlie.
Because last night, watching Mitch call, watching all season long, right? Every game, he gives you some sort of highlight. He's the greatest. Never have we seen a flyer with this skill, and he's 19 years old. Oh my God, Charlie! Where are you, Charlie O'Connor? All PHLY Flyers. Where's he at?
He's not here.
Oh. All right, well, tell him to do tomorrow then, if that's the case.
Poor Cuz is all excited.
I thought he was here. What happened? He flaked?
Come on, Charlie. Listen, come on.
It was a late one last night. We had overtime.
What,
we had shootout.
He sleeps in?
He must have slept in.
We're on a Vegas
That's a violation. Listen, I don't want to do anything. I love Charlie. All right?
Well, it was a great game. It was fun to watch.
He's pissing me off now.
It was fun to watch. The boys playing a first-place team.
Wake the bleep up. I just want you to talk about Meach Comp.
Meach.
What doesn't the guy do?
He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's cold-blooded.
I love his attitude, man.
Yes.
He's got the attitude of a superstar.
Yes, he does.
And he matches it with his play. Like, all game. Vegas is Vegas. Like, they're potent. Just saying they're up 3-0 too. They're like, oh my God. And you knew that it was going to come like Eichel at some point. But this is what it is, right? Like, we were all jealous, Jack Eichel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? Like, stud. Like, all those young studs coming in over the last 5 years. What's the matter? We live.
That Dave, I just love that Dave, Jack Eichel.
Yeah, well, he's ridiculous.
What's the love about that name? Yeah, what's funny about Jack Eichel?
I don't know.
Why does it make you giggle?
It made me smile. Don't mind me.
Eichel makes him giggle?
Just Jack Eichel.
You guys sent me. It's great, the level of childish humor that you have. You sent me the Sixers font thing.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Where it was going around.
Great. Yeah. How does someone not see that?
So final, the F and the I were too close together.
In the throwback font they use.
Yes.
They call it, was it kerning? They need to space out the letters a little bit as a graphic designer.
So the F and the I were melded together in the word final.
It looked like an A.
Correct.
Don't say it, Razor.
No, he's not. But they said, so he sends me in the group chat, and they're laughing,
Made TMZ, right?
It did it really?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It made TMZ?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, my God, this world
Design
that we live in. Oh, my God. Now, the score makes it feel like
That's a
it.
lot of it. That's a lot of it.
Even worse.
The score makes it feel like it. What's the matter?
He's here.
No, tell him that tomorrow because he's too late.
We'll do it tomorrow, Charlie.
He's too late, child. I'm mad at you. All right. It's time for our Right Aid Back in the Day moment.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
All right, fellas.
What do we got?
I swear to God, like BG reads my mind sometimes. Because ironically today, I had planned a JT Realmuto back in the day. This one's interesting because if you ever need a backup,
JT, no, you didn't. Why would you go JT Realmuto back in the day? It's 2 days before Thanksgiving. You're giving me JT Realmuto?
Because this one's cool. So if you ever need a backup quarterback, cuz JT Realmuto could play quarterback, and he wasn't bad at it either.
Where's this at? All right, let me see it.
Quarterback on the Oklahoma's All-State team from Carl Albert, JT Realmuto. JT, 8 touchdowns in 2 games in the playoffs against Kelly and El Reno, 4 each. Rushed for 1,400 yards, 25 touchdowns, threw for nearly 2,000. Just talk about the way this team came together as the season went on.
We came together real well. We didn't start off very well to start the season, but came together towards the end. Our offensive line got a lot better through the season. Receivers played really well. Our defense was great all season, really, and we just came together and finished it well.
Talk about the load that was on your back. 40 carries a couple times during the last few games of the playoffs.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of load, but I had good guys in front of me. Just had to follow their butts, and they led me to the end zone.
How much of a leadership role did you take on yourself on this team? Obviously, the quarterback on a championship contending team is always going to be a leader, but I know you and Trey especially took on the bulk of the leadership role.
Me and Trey are both pretty much leaders of the team. We just try to lead by example and keep the guys hyped and get them ready for the game.
If you ever need a backup quarterback,
what was it like closing?
That's pretty cool. Actually, I never knew that. I knew he played football, but I didn't know.
What's crazy too is
I didn't know he played quarterback either.
What's crazy, he hasn't changed at all. He looks exactly the same.
No, dude, I was skeptical. That was good.
I got you. You
still hate JT?
I mean, put that in the package. The video we're sending to other teams. Put that in the package.
Yeah.
Hey,
I want to
he's
see
pretty versatile.
I want to see some batting in there too. You know, it's all great that he can throw the football, but where's the batting?
Oh my God!
Major
Dude, don't talk
disappointment
baseball.
the second half of the year.
If I want to talk baseball with a Frazier, it'll be your brother who actually played baseball.
Okay.
All right?
You didn't bring him in here, bro.
Your brother, I'll talk baseball with. You, no.
This is interesting. You're talking about the youth of the Eagles today. I found this little nug while we were talking. The average age of the Eagles roster is 6th youngest. It's 25.5 years.
6th youngest. That's awesome.
You're a wizard, Howie.
Check this out.
All right.
The Chiefs, the 5th youngest, 25.4 years old. The Chiefs.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, yeah, their defense is young.
Yeah.
Their defense is
They're
young.
top heavy
That's
with the
what
contracts.
Their defense is young. We got Worthy's young.
Yeah.
He's like 21 years old.
They're going to be good for a bit.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
It's all about the kids, guys.
All right, so here's the deal. Tomorrow, again, we've been telling you all day, but we're going to be at Reading Terminal Market at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have a lot of fun. Johnny Marks is going to be there. All right, he's going to be doing his show, the Philly show. The Bro will be there. I'm sure VG and I will be hijacking the Philly show too.
Yeah.
Yes, we will certainly be boozing. We will be hanging at Molly Malloy's.
Love it.
We love the Reading Terminal Market. It's a Philadelphia treasure. We've been doing this show. I've been doing it for how long, man?
It's a fun day.
I mean, I've been doing it for over almost 10 years. So we want you to come down, sample the great food. I love it because it's a way to get into the holiday spirit, right? It's the holiday spirit.
It's really festive. Everyone's buying stuff for their meal.
Right? It's awesome. Better. Like you feel like it's the official start of the holiday season tomorrow, Reading Terminal Market. We'd love to see you. Hang out with us, all right? It'll be a lot of fun, and you'll eat good, all right? So thanks for hanging, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.